Welcome back. We are here with another video for Sentimental Value. At first, I wasn't knowing if this is a 5 star, but the more I think about this film, the more I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performances, I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the cinematography, and just the world that was created in this film. It was really, really well done. This was directed by Joachim Trier. I think he's Norwegian. Here's the tagline: Sisters Nora and Agnes reunite with their estranged father, the charismatic Gustav, a once renowned director who offers stage actress Nora a role in what he hopes will be his comeback film. When Nora turns it down, she soon discovers he has given her part to an eager young Hollywood star. So, this movie tells its story through the house that has been in Stellan Skarsgård's family throughout his life, throughout the family line's history. It was really really interesting. I thought that was a good way. Movie starts with just shots of the house, and it's like the house is the stage, the house that these sisters grow up in, the house that Stellan Skarsgård grew up in is the stage for this story, which was really interesting. I think that's always good to see when a movie, choosing is an object to be the thing to tell its story through. I thought that was really interesting. And off the bat, man, I just really enjoyed the story. The thing with Stellan Skarsgård, and I said it in my letter, but like he was this not even like larger than life, but the only way to put it was like, yo, he was too lit. He was this, I wouldn't say obviously a director that has cachet in the world, like because he's like doing this this what are they called, a re something, I'm gonna say another one. He's doing a not a revision, so they're replaying his movies in France, and that's what Elle Fanning sees it, and who is really good too, of being like this young American actress who is big time, but also wants to be taken seriously and wants to do interesting films. And it's funny that Elle Fanning has Predator Badlands and Sentimental Value coming at the same time, because it kind of Predator Badlands kind of works in the universe of Sentimental Value of, hey, yeah, she does these big movies, but she also wants to do these interesting Norwegian dramas. But yeah, but Stellan Skarsgård's character, he's too lit. Like he's obviously a womanizer. He couldn't get along with his daughter's mother. And I think it stems, and we know it stems from his mother committing suicide in that house. In maybe he felt disconnected. Maybe he couldn't connect in the way that he wanted to. Maybe he threw himself at his work because there's still a part of him that's just gone, not there, where he could be a good father to his daughters. He can be a grandfather, or his self-interests are always first. What he wants in the world is always first. And we see how that affects the daughters. Nora's character, beautiful introduction scene of her in a play, and she starts having a panic attack. Like she's franticing around in like the costume department, the stage manager, everyone is trying to get her on stage, and she's trying to get off, like, I don't want to go on. And she's obviously really talented, but still has this anxiety, still has this deep sadness within her, especially from her, how she was raised, and how, she's in the world that her father is into. Like, he's a director and she's a stage actress, but like they don't cross paths at all. Like, and she's kind of avoidant of him. Yeah, but so that was a really good scene of her running around. She's like ripping off her dress because it's just like this, experimental play. It looks really interesting. I actually was like, man, I want to see that play she's in. That looks interesting. She's just franticking around, and they're just trying to get her on stage. Like they're putting black tape on her black dress to be like, oh, just put it back together. And she's just having a real panic attack. But she goes on stage and obviously has a good because, I think this movie does really a good job of not holding the audience's hands. Like we don't need to see everyone be like, oh, great. Like I feel like an American movie would put like newspaper clippings and all this stuff. And it's just like, no, we keep it simple. Like we know it's understood that she's a great actress. We see the emotion she puts out. We see even when she gets on that stage, everything, her face changes. And one thing about this movie that is really amazing is the face acting, the discovery in our actors' face when they hear something, when they see something. We see what they're feeling through their face, and sometimes things are not said, but their face acting is doing it all. And I think Nora, that actress, I have to get her name, so good. And I remember I saw her I still haven't seen The Worst Person in the World, but I did see Different Man, and I really liked her in that. Like she's phenomenal actress, really good. Let me get her name. Yeah, Renate Rensve. Sorry if I'm butchering that. But she was so good in this. So we see her anxiety, and the younger sister, Agnes, is a little more stable. She has a son, has a husband. She does work in, the dramaturgy of, doing research, cultural research on like different plays, the films for her father. She's an interesting character too, because she's really grounded in the movie. Like Eve, like what's her name? Their mother dies. That's how we kind of started. Their mother dies. She was sick, and it's obvious like the mother was the one that was there for them. The father was absent, so the relationship they have with their father is not really there. So already we're starting the story out in a place where, now they're on uneven ground. Their mother's not here anymore. The person that kind of kept them together is not here anymore, and now they have their absent father trying to come back into their lives. And Agnes is a little more open to Stellan Skarsgård, their lit dad coming back. Like, hey, look, it's our dad who's this renowned filmmaker, but he's a shit father. That's what he is. He's not a good father. He's so selfish and so just wrapped up in his own head. And in this movie, you can tell that, like, yeah, he probably is a genius, but he's a dick. He's just truly a dick and just like this chauvinist guy, but and an alcoholic. He parties hard. And they make sure to show that. That's why I was like, oh yeah, he's too lit. It's too lit. You can't raise kids and be that lit. You're an alcoholic, not really there for them. But so yeah. So their mom is passed away, and now the two sisters. We have one sister who's a little more even footing in her life, while we're seeing Nora. She's having a hard time. This is hard for her. Yes, she is. She's having a good career in theater, but she still has this anxiety, still has this depression. Even, she's having a relationship with a married man, and like maybe maybe she's in that relationship because she knows like, hey, it's not gonna go anywhere. Like he's married, it's all good. And I love that we see, it's one of her castmates who also, when she was having her frantic episode, she asked them to slap her. She's like, slap me, like she's going through a lot. But her castmate's going through a divorce, and then she's like, oh, we can be together. And he's like, whoa, that was not the deal. Like she obviously is having a hard time relationship with men because her absent father has affected her a lot. Like he's this big crater in her life, and it's tough for her. But he comes back into their life, and not really to console, and like he's thinking about his next film. He's thinking about the next thing. He wrote this script, and he's like, I want you to be in it. And Nora, like, I want you to read. And she does do the right thing at first, just being like, no, like, I want nothing to do with you. I'm not reading the script. I'm not in it. I'm not doing it. and he was kind of hurt from that because he wants to shoot the movie in the house. Mind you, his ex-wife just died, and he's kind of, and they established too, like the mom didn't, put in the proper paperwork, so technically it is his house because he is. I don't think they ever got an official divorce, but it is his house now. So he immediately self-interest. He thinks about, I'm trying to write this. I already wrote this film. It's going to be shot in the house, and first we don't know what the film's about yet, but as the movie go, they kind of devolve and keep going and understanding why this movie, why he wrote it and what this attempt is. Yes, is an attempt for him to, you know, get his claim to fame, show, his, what is it, magnum opus, the big one, I think that's what he wants the film to be. But also I think it was a moment for him to say to his daughters, like, hey, I see you. I know I wasn't there, but I see you. And like, I know I'm a shit dad, but like, I'm trying to emotionally connect with you. And the way he does it is, of course, the way a lit dad would do it, who's like a renowned filmmaker, is to make a film where he tries to close that gap between them, between his two daughters. And Agnes is a little more open to it. But of course Nora is not, and she says no. And that's where Elle Fanning's character comes. So she saw one of his films, I think it was a World War II film or World War One, and she's brought to tears. She's like, wow. And then they see each other, like, hey, they want to talk, meeting agents, she's an American actress, so she has her agent, publicist, and assistant. And already Stellan Skarsgård has like champagne. He's like, let's turn up on the beach. Like, he's turning up with them, having fun, like connecting with her, talking. And she's like, I really want to do like a film like what I just saw. Like, I want to do it. And he's like, oh, really? I have a part written. Since his daughter said no to the role, now he can get Elle Fanning, this big time American actress, to be in it. Even though it's a Norwegian film, he's kind of going it because he knows this can help with financing, which is a reality for especially an older filmmaker who's like, I want to make this film, but I know I have to attach, a big name star to it in order for it to get made. And that's where Elle Fanning's character comes in. Yeah, and I really am like, I don't know if you can see, like, I'm really enjoying how this movie is just like cascading into the story, more deeper into the character. It really is, it's good. It's really interesting. But yeah, Elle Fanning's character, and that's where she gets attached to the film. And I think all their scenes where they're doing rehearsals, it is hard for Elle Fanning like to get into this character because she's like, there's this deep sadness within the character that she can't seem to tap into, and especially since the movie is shot in Norwegian and like everyone has accents, and she even tries the accent, and Stellan Skarsgård's like, relax, just do this thing. Like, and I don't know if he kind of keeps his cards close to him of like if he thinks she's right for the role, but I don't think he thinks but he just going with it and letting her try. And Elle Fanning is, I love when not Hollywood, but when movies show how movies are made. I think those are always good because I think you really see the emotionality that goes into playing a role, especially for an actor and actress. A lot goes into it. Like, your personal life does come into play. You can say it doesn't, it does. And you're seeing here, like, Elle Fanning's trying to connect to the material, but this movie was written for his daughter to play the lead role of this character that's an amalgamation of his daughter, of his mother. It's something he was trying to really put together in this movie. But Elle Fanning is not connecting to it. And I love that scene where she bows out. No, even before she bows out, she actually goes sees his daughter Nora, her theater show, and they talk. And that's where, she's explaining the role to Nora. Face acting, it shows up. Her face, because she's like, this character is deeply sad, like there's something missing in her. And Nora like starts to like almost start crying and breaking down because she's like, oh shit, he really did write this movie role for me. Like, it's for me to play. Mind you, she still hasn't read the script, and neither has the sister, even though she starts doing research on their family history. And of course, it ties back to World War II and those damn Nazis. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know World War II, we do talk about it a lot, but also we don't talk about it enough because the connections that it has within the world. It's very deep, very big. And I remember my professor put one, like, it was an industrial genocide. That's what that was. We're seeing now industrial tools being used to aid in, removing a whole group of people. That's a mark in human history. That's new. That's something new that we're seeing. That's why I think World War II is still underspoken, and it's a lot to it. Anyway, but I love that scene where she's explaining the character and like how she's not connecting to it. Even a scene where she's doing this big monologue and she really breaks down. Cause I really enjoy Elle Fanning's performance because she's like, this it's basically like, this is too much for me. Like, whoa, this is a lot. In those rehearsals, you can tell it was too much. And then when she bows out and has a real conversation with Stellan Skarsgård and just like, I can't do it. Like, and I think that was good to see. Every time someone leaves a project and people just, blind item, they had beef. And what if they were doing rehearsals and it just was not working? And I think that's more beautiful, more interesting. And that's what a creative difference can look like. Not always has to be a blow up or something bad happen, or it's just like, hey, the material, what was written, I can't connect with it. What if it is just that? Another thing that was really good too. So remember, the sisters have not read the script. So then we finally see Agnes read the script, and once she starts, she can't put it down. And like the father keeps telling them, like, please just read it, just read it, just read it, because he actually wants to cast their grandson. And it's something and Stellan Skarsgård has a lot of funny lines in this. Like, he's like, I don't want a child actor that knows how to do jazz hands. I don't want that. I want an actor that has his grandson. He said he still feels like he has secrets. And I was like, that's that's interesting. Sometimes you don't want an actress that's too much of an actor, but someone that feels real and what makes a person feel real is you don't know everything about them. I don't know everything, and I think that's why he wanted to cast his grandson. He was like, that kid, he has secrets, and I'm like, that's interesting. I like that, really interesting. Then when he was like, no jazz hands, come on, like, I don't need a music. It's not a musical. This is a drama. This is no one's dancing. So I need something that feels real. I like that part. So of course, the sister says no, but he's like, please, just read the script. Like, read the script. No matter how much time she's like, I don't want to do, like, my son's not being in this movie. Agnes's son, he's like, read the script. And she reads the script. And that's where, we see, the sister connect with the script now. Now she's like, okay, she starts to see, like, okay, this really was written for my sister and for Nora. And so, yeah, so much. But the movie is being shot where their childhood home is, and Nora has a new play coming up, and the father doesn't even come see it because, like, we see one scene when he's kind of being mean to her, and you can tell she wants a relationship with him. Like, she reveres him too, but he's not. He's self-interest. He's just into himself, and he does not care about what his daughters have to say. Like, there's a scene when they're both smoking a cigarette, and she's really looking at him smiling, and it's like she wants the dad to be in her life, but he's just not there. And like, I remember he's like, theater, like, she was like, hey, like, you never even seen my plays, like, you left at intermission. He's like, I don't like theater, like, I don't like it. I read books and I like film, but I don't like theater. I don't care. It's not real. You can't see their eyes. Like, he's such a director, and just like, I don't like it. So when her new play opens up, of course, she invites her dad, Agnes, and Agnes's husband, but the dad doesn't show up. She has a good performance, but he doesn't show up, and then she ends up canceling her performances because she's distraught. Like, he's he's back in Norway. He is back with them, and he won't even see their plays. Um, he won't even see it. So the sister goes over to her house, and like Nora's distraught. Just like looks like she's been crying for days. Like she's really sad, and she tells her to read the script. Like, no, he really did write this movie for you. And that's when we learn, like, does he know about my suicide attempt? And it's like, oh, like his mother committed suicide, then his daughter attempted it, and I think they try to hide it from the husband, but it's like he did know, and now he's writing this story about that, um, connecting his mother to his daughter, because Elle Fanning keeps saying like, okay, is this character about your mother? Like, what happened to your mother? And he's like, it's not about my mother. And then now we understand why he kept saying it's not about my mother. And it's about his daughter. Like, he sees her. He does, you know, he obviously regrets that he was not there for her. We're starting to see now through this script, you know, this self-interested script that he wrote, that he wants to be in their lives. And then she reads it, and then she reads the same monologue that Elle Fanning read, and you can tell Elle Fanning it was too much for her, but for Nora, like, she saw this is for me. And then the movie, I think they insinuated that the family sold the house, I think, to finance the movie. That's how I took when the house got all remade and looked new, because it had this colonial look. You know, I lived in the house I was built in the 1890s. So I know that look of like that old style, old wood. So they redid the whole home. And my guess was they got the money through selling the house. And now they were shooting that scene that him and Elle Fanning rehearsed of the mother's, like the climax of the film of her committing suicide. You know, she closes the door, sends her kid off to school, and we see the grandson actually is in the movie. Like, this is a connecting moment for them. But then the movie ends again brilliantly with, they do this really hard scene and they do cut, and it's like, oh wow, they did the scene, and the father looks at Nora, and they don't say anything to each other. There's still a lot, and they show this wide shot, this distance between them. There's still a distance, even though they were able to make this movie. There's still distance between them, and you know, they're walking closer to each other, closer and closer, and the grandson's there, and they're like, "Oh, good job!" Like, they're having this moment. Like, they shot the movie on the sound stage now because it's not in the home. That's what I'm saying. I think they sold the house. But there's still this distance between them. Yeah, and the movie ends. And I was just, wow, that was really good. And I think the movie did really well of having characters have their moments, using the house as a tool. Stellan Skarsgård's performance was great. Nora's performance, like, everyone was really good. This is really interesting. And now I have to watch Worst Person in the World. I'm like, okay, I like this. I like this when you feel like the characters are real. You feel the emotion. Now I really appreciated this film, the face acting, the direction, and of course I love movies that talk about making movies. I think that's always, I don't ever see that as a minus. Always see it as a plus, and I like that. And I don't know if it's true, but maybe we are seeing like a peek into the creative process of the writer and director. I thought that was interesting. So yeah, Sentimental Value. I normally never go through the whole story like that, but how the story was told and how we learn as an audience through everything, it just really came together. It really came together, and I'm gonna give Sentimental Value 5 stars. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. That was good. Yeah. So thanks. I know I'm playing the trailer in the back. Oh, Neon. Shout out to Neon. You know, shout out to Elle Fanning. Is her name? What's her name again? Renette. I don't know her name, but Nora. She was really good. Had a great time. 5 stars. Sentimental Value. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.